This is going to be a film study video about Jerry Jacobs, the corner for the Detroit Lions, who, as it stands now after week 5, is going to remain the starter. He's a lightning rod for attention from all sides, from Lions fans, from opposing offenses at times who target him. This is a fun video for me to produce. I've been kind of sitting on this one for 2 weeks. If you've watched many of my videos and you're back again, thank you. I appreciate that. But you probably know I like unheralded, underrated players. And Jerry Jacobs has certainly given up big plays at times in 2023. There's no doubt about it. Defensive pass interference, I think he has 3, might be 4, or maybe 3 DPIs and 1 hold. I have film of those, so I'm aware of them. He's had a lot of tough matchups. Big tight ends, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. He also has 3 interceptions. He's a ball hawk. He's very smart. His mentality and his attitude, I think, fits the Lions. Now, I don't subscribe to the Lions are underdogs theory. That team's too talented to be called an underdog. Teams that are underdogs don't have that much talent that they can win games like in week 5 without Brian Branch, St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs. Win games without 2 starting offensive linemen, I think 3 weeks ago, something like that. There's too much talent there to call them underdogs, but Jerry Jacobs, I think, fits that description. I root for guys like Jerry Jacobs, especially because he's smaller and I can identify with him. So let's get to the film. 3 interceptions here first. This one is brilliant, man. This is cover 2 to his side against the Panthers last week, and Bryce Young is trying to stick this into the slot receivers, basically a smash concept with an out by number 1. Let's get to the film, back it up some so you can see what Jacobs does. This little out motion that everybody's using now. Tight end goes out into the flats, and then the receiver who becomes a slot receiver is trying to run something like that. So they're trying to high-low him and then read him. Well, Young thinks he's going to stick with the flat route, and Jacobs is smart enough to understand, okay, there is a flat route here. I will need to defend that, but I don't need to be this close to it to stop that receiver, that tight end, from getting 6, 8, 10 yards. He could give up a complete. This, to me, this is utter brilliant thinking and decision making on Jerry Jacobs' part. Yes, he could give up a 5 or 6 yard gain to the tight end by lagging off of him, but he's just reading Young while staying in touch with the receiver, making himself available to break on this, high points to football. Man, that's brilliant corner play. You know, maybe the Lions need to play more of it at times and let Jerry Jacobs, people call it cheating. It's not cheating. It's just good team defense, good help defense. I like to compare things to combat sports sometimes, and sometimes I like to compare them to basketball because I played so much basketball in my life. Look, help defense is a pain in the butt to go against. This is help defense. This is, I got my man, even though it's zone, but I'm going to help out on somebody else's man because I recognize that there's a lot of talented athletes out here on the field, and there's a lot of space to defend, and I need to use my eyes and my body to defend more than just one thing at a time. Hopefully I explained that in a way that makes sense. Jacobs is going to be found down here on the right-hand side of the Lions defense in pretty much every play I show you. Look, this is a great play by Anzalone. Tipped ball. This little in cut by Christian Watson. So, yeah, he's an opportunist. Cool. Give me 5 opportunists on my defense. Give me 11 of them, guys that when the ball's in the air, they go get it, or they have the ability to be around the football. Now, maybe it's because he's targeted a whole lot. Okay, fine. Your defense can play off of that, but even if it's not tipped, you can see safety is breaking on it. Jacobs is on top of it, potentially going to give up a completion if it's not tipped. Huge hit by Tracy Walker on Christian Watson. Jerry Jacobs, I don't think he's dropped an INT this year. I've got probably 80% of the Lions' defensive snaps saved on my computer, some of them in the database. And by the way, some people reached out about getting access to the database. My apologies for not responding. It's generally a part of my Patreon, so I can make that available to Lions fans if you desire that. I don't really like to advertise the Patreon a ton. I mean, it's $5 a month. It's the type of thing that I do, and I'm glad to provide. Generally, it's been for Ravens fans, but if Lions fans would like access to it, there is every single Lions offensive play on there. So feel free to let me know in the comments section. I'm not a great salesman. I just don't view myself that way. But in any case, Jacobs with another interception. This one's interesting, man. He's defending Dobbs on the outside. It's zone. But he's got his eyes in here at the quarterback, seeing when the ball is thrown. some people are like, oh, he got lucky here. Because if Love, holds on to the ball for an instant and throws it to Dobbs, it's a touchdown. That could be true. But he also knows he has safety help behind him. In this moment, he can't pause like we are and look over here. Hey man, you got him? He's just got to trust that the coverage concept is a too high safety structure. So he theoretically should have help deeper to the field. Now, anything out here, deep in that area is going to be difficult for the safety to get to. In this case, yes, Dobbs is going to be open if Love holds on to the football, but he didn't. And Jerry Jacobs is super smart at keeping eyes on the quarterback in zone. I think he's a really, really good zone corner. Doesn't mean that he's bad in man. And I'll be honest with you, I understand that some people are going to say, Coach, that's not the reputation he has. Well, here's the film. I don't know what else to say. I don't read stuff. Damn sure don't watch PFF or read their stuff and just take the grades as the gospel. I watch the film. Maybe I watch 40% of the film. Maybe I watch 60% of it. Some days, maybe I watch 80. And I'll tell you what I think. Take it for what it is. All right, man coverage against the Chiefs. Again, he's the right-hand side of the defense, so up top. They attacked him. By drag routes and in cuts. This is a big-bodied tight end on the backside. Maybe this ball could be thrown a little better, or maybe the tight end should continue on his in cut. Jerry Jacobs is there to challenge. Very easily could be a completion, and it's not. I think 3 times, second, third quarter, they went at him on these type of concepts or the next one. Again, at the top side of the field. Now, I can't show you Brian Branch's interception. The NFL used that in a film study video, so if I do that, it'll demonetize my content. But this is a long way to go for Jerry Jacobs, and he makes the tackle. I think it's a brilliant football play, and I think this is an underrated guy. I think he's representative of the Lions team in some ways, but there is a stark difference there, like I said earlier in my lead-in, that Jacobs is clearly an underdog, and this Lions team has too many talented guys to be put in that box. Hey, they're underdogs. We don't expect much from them. I expect them to win 12 to 14 games. All right, now, did he have trouble against DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett? Damn right, he did. I mean, DK Metcalf gives everybody trouble, right? The Seahawks were also very smart about how they got Lockett out in space. I think he got 2 DPIs in this game. I might be wrong. I'm going to show you one of them here. They like to put Lockett in the backfield and motion him out to either side. Who knows what it's dependent on? It could be dependent on what DB is out there, who they want to attack. In this case, it works out for him. You get a DPI on Jacobs down at the bottom side of the end zone. He doesn't really complain about it. So sometimes when you can't see it because the offensive player's body is in the way, and you're like, hey, is that really much of an interference? Well, when he doesn't complain, kind of lets you know. He's zoning off up here, and it's a cool concept, little play action. Lockett's going to slip out into the flats. He's zoning off. He's got a couple of things possibly. This could be a vertical, or it could be something up here. This looks like potentially a flood concept. This guy could sit down, but Lockett is wide open in the flats. I mean, what's he supposed to do? He's got to give up something. If he jumps Lockett and Geno Smith has enough time, could Geno Smith throw the deeper route? Sure. Now, we know that there's a nickel DB, I think it was Branch, in his face to prevent Geno Smith from getting his feet set and throwing the ball downfield. Jerry Jacobs may not be aware of that in terms of the blitz. It may have been a run fit by Branch on flow away. I'm going to go ahead and take quarterback. Maybe you could say things need to be better coordinated between the two of them. But anyway, I digress. All right, so now we got Jacobs on the other side of the field. A deep route to Lockett. Again, who motions out of the backfield. Did motion to Jacobs' side 3 times in that game. So maybe they were trying to identify where he was. That could be the case. Zoning this off. Deep completion to Tyler Lockett. Too easy. Not going to tell you that he played well in this game. This is a huge moment. I think the fourth quarter. This one could be overtime, but it's either fourth quarter or overtime. And it's a crucial third down. He did not play well at all. And I remember after this game, there was commentary and talk about him on social media, and he was upset. He got knocked down after this game, but he got up and continued to play well. I think he played extremely well against the Packers. I think he played really fantastic last week. This is end zone, same play. You don't really get a great sense of him being lost. It looks like it could be trail man, where he's playing underneath because he knows he has safety help over the top. But sometimes DBs just get beat so badly that it looks like trail man, which is an intentional thing, and it actually is not. I think he played a whole heck of a lot better starting the next week. Romeo Doubs, they really attacked him a lot with Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs got a lot of targets in that game and played quite well. If you ask me, this is going to be an incomplete pass, nearly intercepted by Jacobs or popped up in the air for Anzalone to intercept. Again, you got a zone mentality, but he recognizes that he's the backside of that, so it's a man reaction by him, even though everyone else on the field appears to be playing cover 2 zone. Interception from the end zone angle, the first one, and you'll see how great of a play it is by Anzalone. It's team defense, man. This is what you got to do in the NFL with talented athletes, great coaches, and extremely competitive guys out there. You've got to play team defense, and Jerry Jacobs right now is a big part of that, if you ask me. You guys let me know if you're as impressed with him. I'm fine if you say, hey, I wish Emmanuel Moseley was out there. It's terrible that he's injured again. But this is the guy you got, and this is the guy who is making some plays so far this year. Left side against Doubs, called a pass interference that I was a little unsure about. But look, I'm a former defensive coordinator. I tend to take the side of the defensive guys. There certainly is some contact when we get down here. So that's probably where the hold occurred that they called. And Doubs is unable to come back to the football. He's a competitor, man. I like Jerry Jacobs. I'm a root for him to continue to make plays. What if he does this all year? He's got 3 picks right now, right? What if he ends up with 6? I mean, how many interceptions does he have to end up with for people to give him credit? As I understand it, he was an undrafted guy, and so you would think, hey, that's not going to be a guy who's going to end up starting in the NFL. He's giving y'all good reps. He's giving y'all good snaps. There's certain guys size-wise that's just a bad matchup for him, and that's not being disrespectful. That's just reality. Some of the guys that you're going to see, you can see off coverage third and really long here. So he's willing to give up this deeper out to, again, Doubs, who was a real focus for the Packers that game, and I think is an underrated receiver for real. You guys let me know what you think of the breakdown, what you think of Jerry Jacobs' play so far this season. The way it works for YouTube is, like, if you enjoy the content, then comment once the video posts up. So, I mean, and this is a great catch. It's not Doubs here. I forget who that guy is. Torrey, a great catch. The way it works for YouTube, like if you comment once the video posts up, once I've posted the video and it's finished premiering, if you comment then, that kind of helps the algorithm. So like comments during the premiere is fantastic because I like to try to get in there and interact with Lions fans, Ravens fans, whoever is up in the premiere. But the way that it works for the algorithm is the comments after it posts up really is where it's at to help us out, to help the video get pushed out to larger audiences. So if you want to help in that regard, please do that once the video posts up. I appreciate you guys checking the video out. This is a guy that I root for. I have no idea why he's got Crazy Jerry as a nickname. I try to look the nicknames up for the players and figure out a way to use that in the title. I got a little bit of experience with title creation for media content. But anyway, thank you guys for checking the video out. If you stuck around this long, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help other Lions fans possibly get engaged with my content. If you have any suggestions for videos to do this week, please let me know. It's probably going to be a down week for Ravens content because they lost, and you guys are where it's at right now. Appreciate your time.